Have you ever noticed how just a few seconds of intense anger can cause more damage than you thought possible? Imagine this. In just the time it takes to snap your fingers, relationships can be strained and days can be ruined. It's startling, isn't it? How powerful and potentially destructive a single moment of anger can be. But what if I told you that this same powerful force, when understood and harnessed, can become a profound tool for personal growth and strength? Today, we dive deep into the ancient yet incredibly relevant world of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring hardship, but transforming our responses to them for greater peace and clarity. I invite you all to engage in this conversation. Comment below with your thoughts and experiences regarding anger. How open are you to exploring Stoic ways to master your emotions? If you're someone who seeks to grow, who loves to challenge your own boundaries of understanding, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the word and help others discover the power of Stoicism. And stay tuned, especially if you're skeptical about what Stoicism can offer. This video is packed with insights that might just change your mind. Together, we'll explore not just the theory, but the practical applications of Stoicism in controlling anger, with real-life examples and actionable advice. It promises to be an enlightening experience, so watch till the end to gain a full understanding of how to transform anger from a destructive impulse into a constructive force. Let's get started. Unpacking the burst of anger. Have you ever suddenly found yourself in the middle of a heated argument, heart racing, with words spilling out that you instantly wish you could take back? That moment, that explosion of anger, seems to come from nowhere, right? It's almost like a switch flips inside us. One minute everything is fine, and the next we're swept up in a wave of emotion so strong that it can feel uncontrollable. This is what I like to call the burst of anger. A sudden release that can disrupt not just your day, but potentially your life. Think about the last time you felt this burst of anger. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a frustration at work. It's something we've all faced. Anger is not just a simple emotion. It's a complex response that can lead to regrettable actions and hurtful words. And let's be honest, it often leaves a trail of damage in its wake, from strained relationships to missed opportunities for understanding and connection. But what if I told you there's a different way to handle this burst? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Stoics teach us that we may not have control over every situation we encounter, but we can control our response. It's not about suppressing your anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that moment of eruption and choosing a different path. Stoicism offers us tools to pause and reflect instead of react. It teaches us to look at anger through a lens of awareness and understanding. Why am I angry? What triggered this response? By asking these questions, we start to take power back from our impulsive reactions and begin to manage our emotions more constructively. This approach doesn't diminish the validity of our feelings, but empowers us to handle them with clarity and strength. It's about transforming what seems like an uncontrollable outburst into a moment of choice. Every time you feel that surge of anger, remember, this isn't just an emotional response. It's an opportunity to grow, to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. A Stoic's Guide to Understanding Your Fury. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, offers a unique lens through which we can view our emotions, especially those as volatile and impactful as anger. So what do the Stoics say about anger? Simply put, they believe that anger stems not from the external events we experience, but from our internal judgments and reactions to those events. Now you might be wondering, how does that help me when I'm actually angry? According to Stoicism, the key lies in recognizing that we have the power to question and adjust our immediate reactions. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your instant reaction might be anger. Your heart starts pounding, you might yell or gesture at the other driver, and your mood is off for the next few hours. But here's the Stoic twist. Instead of succumbing to anger, you pause. You reflect on why you're angry. Is it truly because of the other driver, or is it because you've allowed their actions to disturb your peace? This reflection is at the heart of the Stoic approach to anger. It's about stepping back and asking, what is within my control? You can't control the traffic, the other driver, or even the fact that you were cut off. But you can control your response. This doesn't mean you don't feel the rush of emotion. It means you acknowledge it and then choose not to let it dictate your actions. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, anger included, should be indicators, not dictators. They signal to us that something is happening that might require our attention, but they shouldn't sweep us away into reactive behavior. When we look at anger through this Stoic lens, it becomes less about suppressing anger and more about managing it. It's not suppressing because you're not denying or ignoring your feelings. You're acknowledging them, analyzing them, and then making a conscious decision about how to proceed. This perspective is incredibly empowering. Think about it. If you can master this Stoic practice, how many situations would be less stressful? How much more effective could your communication be? How much more peace could you bring into your life? As we continue this discussion, I invite you to consider the Stoic idea that virtue is the sole good. This doesn't just mean moral excellence, but refers to the idea of living in accordance with reason and wisdom, especially in the face of emotions like anger. By striving towards virtue, we can transform potentially destructive anger into constructive responses that align with our deepest values. So, as we unpack these ideas, remember that Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about thriving through them by harnessing our inner strength and wisdom. Practical steps to master anger. Controlling anger doesn't mean we never feel angry. Rather, it's about managing our response when that feeling arises. Here's a roadmap you can use to cultivate a more measured reaction when you're tempted to let anger take the wheel. First and foremost, recognize the onset of anger. This is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to be observant of our inner states. Notice when your body begins to show signs of anger. Maybe your heartbeat accelerates, your breathing gets shallow, or you start to clench your fists. These are your body's signals, alerting you that it's time to intervene. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is to pause. This is where the power of Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized the importance of pausing to separate our initial reactions from our deliberate actions. By pausing, you give yourself a moment to step back from the immediate emotional response. This doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just a few seconds can make a significant difference. During this pause, engage in reflective thinking. Ask yourself why you're feeling angry. Is it because your expectations weren't met? Is it because you feel disrespected? Understanding the why behind your anger can help you address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. This step is about responding with reason rather than reacting out of emotion. Now, let's talk about reappraisal of the situation, which is a classic Stoic strategy. This involves reframing the event that triggered your anger. For example, if someone has acted in a way that angers you, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, consider alternative explanations. Perhaps they're having a bad day, or they're unaware of the impact of their actions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the intensity of your anger. Another practical step is to focus on what you can control. Stoicism draws a firm line between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control other people's actions, the past, or the fact that certain things have already happened, but you can control your response, your thoughts, and your actions moving forward. Concentrating on these aspects reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, which are often fuel for anger. Implementing calming techniques is also vital. Once you've paused and reflected, use techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from the situation if possible. These methods aren't just about cooling down. They're about giving your rational mind time to regain control from your emotions. Lastly, practice regular reflection. Stoicism isn't just about reacting well in the moment. It's also about preparing for future challenges. Regularly reflect on your day or your reactions to certain situations. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do better next time? This ongoing practice builds your resilience and equips you with more effective strategies for managing anger. By integrating these steps into your daily life, you align more closely with Stoic principles, turning each burst of anger into an opportunity for personal growth and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anger entirely, but to master it in such a way that it no longer controls you. Each step you take is a step towards not just greater peace, but also deeper understanding and more effective living. Turning anger into opportunity. Let's take a deeper look at how we can put Stoicism into action, particularly when it comes to transforming our experiences of anger into opportunities for growth and reflection. Stoicism isn't just about handling anger passively, it's about actively converting it into something constructive. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the concept of using every obstacle as a means to practice virtue. Anger, like any other obstacle, challenges us to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, what is this anger teaching me? It could be showing you where your expectations might be unrealistic, or where you might need to develop greater empathy. For example, consider a situation at work where you feel repeatedly frustrated by a colleague's actions. Instead of letting this build into resentment or outbursts of anger, use this as a Stoic exercise. Each instance can be a moment to practice patience, to communicate your feelings constructively, or to reinforce your boundaries effectively. Here, anger becomes a signal, a cue that something needs your attention, perhaps a part of your own response mechanisms that you can refine and improve. Moreover, turning anger into opportunity means focusing not just on controlling outbursts, but also on cultivating an underlying serenity that comes from Stoic acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means recognizing and adapting to things as they are. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, like other people's actions or life's unpredictable events, you free yourself from the burden of trying to force things to be different. This acceptance can significantly alleviate feelings of anger. Another practical way to put Stoicism into action is through what Marcus Aurelius called turning the obstacle upside down. Every time you're faced with something that makes you angry, it's an opportunity to turn the situation on its head and extract something beneficial from it. This could be learning to communicate more clearly, setting more realistic expectations, or even just understanding your own triggers more deeply. Each angry moment can be flipped to reveal a lesson or a stepping stone to better self-mastery. Stoic practice also involves reflecting on the impermanence of our emotions. Anger feels intense and all-consuming when it hits, but like everything else, it passes. Reminding yourself of this can help lessen the grip of anger. You can say to yourself, "This too shall pass," and focus on maintaining your composure in the moment, knowing that the intensity of your anger will diminish with time. Lastly, share these lessons with others. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is not just for personal benefit, but is something to be shared. By discussing how you turned an angry moment into a learning opportunity, you can help others see their challenges in a new light. This not only reinforces your own learning, but also extends the benefit beyond yourself, turning personal growth into communal wisdom. So, as we navigate through our days, let's try to view each anger-inducing incident as a chance to apply Stoic wisdom, to grow in virtue, and to contribute to a more rational, composed world. It's about seizing those moments of anger and transforming them into something that not only enhances our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Unlock your inner strength. Empowerment through Stoicism is about more than just managing our anger. It's about finding strength and resilience within ourselves that we might not have realized we possessed. When we talk about empowerment in Stoicism, we're talking about the power to lead our lives with a sense of purpose, peace, and perspective that remains stable, no matter the external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true empowerment comes from within. It doesn't rely on external validation or circumstances. Instead, it builds on our ability to control our own responses to the world around us. Consider this. How often have you felt at the mercy of your emotions, tossed around by feelings of anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism offers a different path. It invites us to step back and ask ourselves, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to see this differently? And the answer, more often than not, is yes. This self-empowerment is realized through the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control. You can't control what others say or do, you can't control the past, and you certainly can't control the global events that impact your life. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you internalize this, every moment of frustration or anger becomes an opportunity to practice this principle. You start to see challenges as chances to exercise your agency and autonomy. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult situation that stirs anger, Stoicism empowers you to choose a response that aligns with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with deliberation and integrity. This might mean taking a deep breath and deciding to address a conflict with calm words, or it might mean choosing to walk away from a situation that is not beneficial to engage with. Moreover, Stoicism empowers us by changing our relationship with our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, we learn to recognize it as a natural response that we can observe, understand, and manage. This emotional intelligence does not just alter our interactions, it changes the way we lead our lives. We become more resilient as we're no longer derailed by every emotional upheaval, and more adaptable, capable of thriving in a variety of circumstances. Empowerment also comes from the Stoic practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our choices, behaviors, and reactions, we gain deeper insights into our character and motivations. This reflective practice not only helps us make better decisions in the future, but also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. We learn to trust ourselves, to lean on our internal compass rather than being swayed by every passing storm. And finally, empowerment through Stoicism is about contributing to the greater good. Stoicism teaches that we are part of a larger community and that our choices impact others. By choosing to respond to situations with reason and calm, we contribute to a more rational and peaceful world. We lead by example, showing others that it is possible to respond to life's challenges with grace and strength. In embracing Stoicism, we find a powerful ally in our quest for a fulfilled and balanced life. So, as we continue on this journey, let's remind ourselves of the incredible strength that lies within us, ready to be harnessed through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It's not just about controlling anger, it's about unlocking a level of personal power and resilience that transforms all aspects of our lives. Mastering Your Emotions with Stoic Principles. This isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about understanding and directing your emotions in a way that's productive and healthy. Stoicism provides us with tools to not only confront our feelings, but to transform our entire approach to dealing with emotions, especially challenging ones like anger. Let's unpack this a bit. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that our emotions are largely the result of our judgments and beliefs. When we feel angry, it's often because we've made a judgment about a situation or person, that they've wronged us, that an injustice has occurred, or that something should not be the way it is. Here lies a powerful opportunity. If we can change our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To master our emotions, we start by examining these judgments critically. Ask yourself, why do I believe this situation is bad? Is it within my control? Can I look at this differently? This type of questioning is central to Stoic practice and fosters a kind of emotional agility that can be incredibly freeing. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and you start to feel that familiar rise of frustration. A Stoic approach would encourage you to analyze that frustration. You might think, being angry won't clear the traffic. Can I use this time productively instead? Perhaps this is a good moment to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Suddenly, the situation hasn't changed, but your perception of it has, and so has your emotional state. This is where the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. It's a Stoic mindset that invites you to embrace whatever happens as an opportunity. It's about more than just acceptance. It's a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. When you start to practice amor fati, you're not only managing your anger better, you're cultivating a profound peace that comes from the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way. Moreover, mastering emotions with Stoicism means developing a strong sense of inner fortitude. Every time you choose not to lash out in anger, you strengthen your character. You start to build a reputation with yourself as someone who is dependable, stable, and calm. This internal trust is crucial. It's the foundation of self-esteem and personal integrity. And let's not forget the power of preparation. Stoics are big on preparing mentally for what might go wrong. This isn't pessimism, it's practical wisdom. By thinking ahead about how you might deal with potential frustrations or anger-inducing situations, you equip yourself with a toolkit for emotional management. When those moments arise, you're not caught off guard. You have a plan and you have practices in place, like deep breathing, reframing your thoughts, or stepping back to gain perspective. Mastering your emotions with Stoicism isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-reflection, practice, and growth. It requires consistency, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face up to our emotions in a fundamentally different way. But the rewards are immense. Not only do you gain control over your anger and other emotions, but you also gain a serene and resilient spirit that can significantly enhance your quality of life. Let's keep exploring these practices together and continue to grow in wisdom and tranquility. As we wrap up today's journey into mastering our emotions with Stoicism, remember that the path to inner peace isn't always smooth, but every step you take is a step toward a calmer, more resilient you. Thank you for joining me here at Stoic Journal. Your presence and engagement in this community are what make it truly special. If you're eager to dive deeper into the wisdom of Stoicism, check out the suggested video on your screen next. Let's continue to grow together, embracing the challenges and transforming them into opportunities for personal development. See you there, and once again, thank you for being a part of this journey.